Well, hello. Hey, guys. It's CyberBuzz Radio. You were just listening to Making Stuff, who is the most professional, amazing DJ, and then you get me, and things are terrible. And if you're jumping in and you're watching on one of the live streams, then you don't know what I'm talking about, and that's sad. So you should go to mspwaves.com and check out some of the other live DJs that do streams about all sorts of cool stuff alongside me. So hello, welcome my dudes, welcome. So Ron's asking why I hate him, and what he means is part of the station is that we have this awesome notification system that lets people know when shows are live. Well, here's the thing. Discord has actually just updated some stuff. Thank you, Ron. Discord has updated some stuff, and that's a real pain in the butt because what I used to do is get in the live on air room. But but you prefer to watch me jiggle. Fair enough. And especially, like I said today, when I have the tank tops on, when it's warm here in Vancouver on the West Coast, the bingo wings come out. And yeah, you have to put your hands in this. Yeah, it's not good. I promise. I have some strength here. It's just, yeah. Anyways, listen, so let me finish saying what I'm saying. So the problem is, earlier I was trying to make sure that my mic was showing up on my streaming software, and I managed to bomb poor Greg Making Stuff during his show. But it's one of those things where, you know, if I go la la la, it's very easy to see on the meters very quickly. And that's fine. And it's normally working. But in the last week or two, there's been a new update to Discord, and it's a real bitch. Hey, Shadows Pub, good to see you. It's a real bitch because what happens? Oh, thank you for the hugs. What happens is there's some new highlighting that's weird. And we all know we absolutely hate. That's a hell of a great ad. What can I say? It's a dog. It's a Doge saying poo on it. Which is the answer to everything. There's my pupper back there chilling out. That's Murphy, for those of you who are watching. And for those of you who are listening, just imagine a really handsome dog chilling behind me. But so, the deal is, my friends, the deal is such. This new highlighting and the new syntax, it looks bad to begin with. And you're like, oh, I don't really like that. Well, it turns out they've updated something to do with Discord's voice calls. And the second I join the live on air room, Discord hijacks the sound from my headphones and it hijacks the sound from my mic into their call interface. And it doesn't allow my Streamlabs to see my microphone, and it doesn't allow me to hear music that I'm playing for you. So you guys would be able to hear it on the stream, but I would not. I haven't figured out, it's only been about a week that this has existed, so I haven't figured out how to mitigate it yet. But that's the reason that I was late to starting the stream today, because I was trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Why can't I hear my music? So it's fine, whatever. I know for a lot of people, though, they go to see who's live on air. And when people come to listen to my show in the Discord, if they don't see me in the live on air room, they assume there's no show on. And that fucking sucks. That's a real pain in the ass. So I'm going to test something here. And we're going to see if we're going to break the stream. I am going to cheat. Let me just see. I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to try to join the live on air room on my phone on Discord so that things look good. All right, let's see what happens. All right, things are going to look good, but hopefully, Crim always breaks everything. Ain't that the truth? So there we go. Ta-da! La 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 la. So I think that's going to work. And then that way you guys can see me. I can see you. We can play the music. I can hear the music. Because God damn it, you better believe I'm not going to do a show and then not get to listen to all the like fun synth music that I picked out for you guys. So in theory, that's going to work. Maybe. We'll see. And if my phone dies in the middle of this, then I guess we'll know. I guess I'll know for next time. But hey, welcome to the show. This is CyberBuzz Radio, and the whole point of this show is good fun synthwave music. It is, hey cutie, it is good news, retrofuturism, tech, the Hive blockchain, your Q&A, community chat with whatever project or people are kicking around, all that fun stuff. And, I am going to go live on Vim again. So we're going to do it. I see some people watching over there already, but let's do it. Let's hit the button. Let's see if we can get this set up. It's interesting because I'm not allowed to do the category that I want. But all right, are you guys ready? It's happening. Oh, my session has expired, you fuckers. What do you mean? All right, here. I thought I was going to be able to do the thing, but apparently I can't do the thing. So long story short, today I got some great news. I want to share great news with you guys. I'm in such a good mood, but admittedly, I'm not in a hugely technical mood. So if you have questions, comments, you want to talk about the Hive blockchain, that's A-okay. Bring them on in. If you want to talk about crypto, we could do that. Bring it on in. But if you just want to listen to some great music, hang out, chat amongst ourselves, and have fun, I have some fun topics and some cool stuff that I discovered this week that I want to share with you. And of course, my good news. So I'm just, because I don't want to get rid of this. I don't want to get rid of this post. I don't want to lose it. I'm going to refresh and hopefully things will work. We'll just see. Oh, nope. I have to log in again. Son of a biscuit. Friends, technology, she's a beaut, ain't she? She's a beaut. So, listen up. I have got a couple different topics to talk to you guys about today. And the good news is, if you were here on Thursday nights, I do Full Force Radio. It's a metal show. It's a goofy, kind of over-the-top chat show. And as much as I was thinking about talking about Hive and the upcoming hard fork and a lot of the discussions around some of the blockchain reward, tokenomics, stuff like that, I thought instead, nah, we're going to talk about my shit today. And that's what we're going to do. So that's how it is. Now, I'm going to try this one more time, guys. If you are very patient, and you are, and you're very kind, and you are, we're just going to see if we can get this Vim TV post to work. It's not Vim's fault. It's my fault. All right. Looks good. Everything looks good. I'm going to press the button, and then you guys are going to let me know what you guys want to chat about, and then I'll share the good news. Although most of you already know. What? Another? Hey, yeah, thank you, anti-socialist. Thank you, my man. What? Another hard fork? Yes, there is a hard fork coming up. Now, that's quite funny that you say, what? Another hard fork for the Hive blockchain? Because arguably, in a space like ours, it would not be more surprising if we actually, all right, you guys ready? I saved the changes. I posted to Hive. It's going live now. Okay, so in any other blockchain space, it would not be surprising that we would have had more hard forks. So we've had a year since Hive has been created, and we are now here, more than a year later, and we're still tiptoeing into the next hard fork. Now, what I think I'm actually going to do, and I floated this a little bit earlier. Ain't that the truth, John? I floated this a little bit earlier. For those of you guys who are interested in the Hive ecosystem, and you're interested in talking a little bit about some of the stuff that's coming down the pipe, and with some of the people who have thought it up and kind of want to learn a little bit on the fly, I'm thinking I'm going to host either one of this chain maintenance. No? Well, that's basically what a hard fork is. So that's okay. You don't have to know F all about it. You can ask questions and you can learn. But the way that this is going to work is that I'm thinking I'm going to host a live session. Blocktrade said he'd be interested. I think a couple people did. So any of the witnesses or any of the core devs or anybody that wants to come and ask questions in a live AMA setting, I'm thinking that I am going to schedule the next CyberBuzz for that. So that would probably be May the 29th. I'm going to tentatively know. I'll let you guys know. I'll update you. But I think that would be a really fun way for people to kind of come. We can ask questions. There's hot topics around, why is it that we still have a long power down? Should we change that? Should Hive be able to do things that DeFi chains can do? There's a lot of stuff flying around right now. And a lot of the time, we forget how accessible the core devs and the GitHub and everything is around Hive. But of course, we also feel like none of the big guys listen to me and I don't matter. And that's not true. But I'd like to at least kind of host something this time around. So if you want to learn, you want to ask questions, you want to talk to some of the witnesses, sure, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's turn it into a thing. So that's my goal in the next couple of weeks. I will let you know. Hey there. I don't know how to say your name, Theta friend. Ukizabunje. I don't know. I butcher names. It's my job. So let's swing back around because that kind of topic is not this today's kind of topic. Today is just fun stuff. Today's fun music, fun chat, whatever you guys want to talk about. It'll probably go a little dystopian. And of course, as I said, good news for me. So if you were hanging around on Thursday or you ever come to some of my earlier shows, you would know that I am a crazy dog lady. I don't know if I can zoom. Can I zoom on the dog? It's mostly my face. But yeah, so there. This is Murphy. This is my rescue dog. He's a cool dude. He's a sled dog. And he's what's up. And so many of you guys know I'm a huge dog rescuer. I got a notification at 3 a.m. this morning that the group that I'm working... Oh, shit, wrong way. Sorry. Nobody needs to be that zoomed into my face. I got a notification this morning at 3 in the morning from the group in the Middle East that I applied to, that they think I'm great and I can have any dog that I want. So they will help me get a new dog. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be getting a new dog. Yes. So they said you can have whichever one you want. I know exactly which girl I'm interested in because, of course, I want somebody who's going to be cool with Murphy. I want somebody who's going to hang out with me here for the shows, who's going to go hiking and exploring. And she's going to, it's going to sound terrible, she's going to need a little bit of work. She's a rescue dog. But so that's really excited. And that's all I can think about. New dog, new family member, new pet. That's, that's what we're here for. So that's my jam. Yeah, yay! Thank you. I'm really excited too. I'm super excited. So that's my good news. I'm in a great mood. I got fun music. Big dog. Yes, she is a big dog. We figure she's probably about 75 pounds. She's coming in from the Middle East and she's a stray there and she's quite timid because in the Middle East, they don't super love dogs as a whole. They don't really love dogs. So her litter was abandoned and they try and run him over with cars and kick him and throw rocks at him. Dogs there don't have a great life. So they're going to come here with me and have an awesome life. Yes. So I could show you guys pictures of her if you want. And I'll keep you updated. It's going to be about 4 to 6 weeks before she can get a flight into the country. Maybe 8 weeks tops. And then I'll find out and we'll know. Marky says, for fuck's sakes. What's for fuck's sakes? So that's the deal. Are you talking about dog abuse? Because then in that case, I agree. For fuck's sakes. Now, let's move on. I got music today and I got some fun talking. Yeah. So the deal is, in a lot of places in the world, we kind of forget that dogs, companion animals, they're not the same as we consider them here in North America, because obviously we don't think of companion animals as food, and we don't think of companion animals, and we have, in most places, there are rescues or organizations in place to help control animal populations. I swear we won't talk about this for too long. But in a lot of places of the world, that's not the norm. And so what you will have are packs of stray dogs or stray cats because they're not fixed. They're, wild, they breed, you get way too many and they become a problem. So yeah, exactly. And there are plenty of places like in Korea and places like that, it's totally normal to eat dog meat. So, different cultures, totally different attitudes. But in the Middle East, in general, it's that sort of thing. There are tons and tons and tons of stray dogs, and they're a nuisance. And so most people in the population just want to get rid of them. So it's pretty common that people just try and run them over because that's an easy hands-off solution. Shoot them, poison them, things like that. So it sucks, but at the same time, it's not much different than we do with pests here that we don't want around, like rats or whatever. So, you got to look at it through a cultural lens. You got to look at it through an economic lens. And what that means is right now in North America, lots of dogs, lots of animals, lots of rescues are getting tons of applications. People are so excited. Thank you. Bye, Viking Adventure. Please be safe. Have a nap at some point. What that means is in North America, dogs are getting adopted all the time, which is super cool. And you know what? It's kind of ridiculous and kind of awesome that I have to look a little further abroad to rescue a dog in need. But to me, that goes, that makes me think, yeah, you know what? Some of our rescue organizations here are doing a great job. And if that means that getting somebody in need that's going to be a great fit with the rest of my family has to come in on a plane from the Middle East, well, so be it. It's all good. All right, so that's my favorite move. That's my favorite good, awesome news, and we won't talk about it anymore unless you guys want to talk about it. But I will say, if you've never thought about this, just before we move on to any other topic, if you've never thought about this and there's an animal rescue near you, especially dog rescue, check with them to see if they need flight sponsors. As we move into a world where travel is opening back up and people are hanging out and starting to move around more freely again, and we're starting to see some more positivity in our world, flight sponsors are always needed for dog rescues. So if you plan on traveling somewhere, see if there's a dog rescue that needs a flight sponsor. And what that means is you get on your plane completely normal. The animal rescue fills out a bunch of paperwork and they huck a dog into luggage, into cargo, attached to you, and that way the rescue pays $0, you pay $0, the dog goes as your luggage and gets from one place to another. All you got to do is show up and get on the plane. Everything else is taken care of. It's really cool. It's an awesome, easy way to help animals in need. They do it for dogs and cats. You should check it out. All right, that's my PSA for the day. Whew. Okay. So I see there are some people, unfortunately, I can't see who's watching on the site, but I see people on YouTube, Twitch, Vim, hanging out today. Hey, this is CyberBuzz. So the way that today is going to go is I got a couple topics I want to bring up. I got a couple things I want to talk about. They're actually not blockchain related, but if you're watching from somewhere and there's a chat and you want to hop in and say hi or let me know that you're watching or ask a question, please do, and we'll just chase it down. This show is really flexible. It's really fluid. We often pick up all sorts of topics and talk about all sorts of things. But today I was thinking I want to talk a little bit more about some topics that we bring up a lot, which are sort of some retro future topics, some disruptive technology topics. Hey, Gabe. Yeah, Tess, see, YouTube works. I'll see you wherever you are. I see you. Don't forget I had that fun friend from Trovo who thought I was a call girl. You know, it's all good. I can manage all of you. I can handle all of you at once. I have the technology and the power. So some of the topics that I want to bring up today are music related because I do like to play some synthwave for you guys on this show. It's a nice break in between topics and chats. So there are actually a couple of streams going on today that might be a lot of fun. How do I get a whale to vote on my posts one daily without paying him, her, it, or the privilege? You know what? That's a topic around Hive that has always kind of escaped people. And you know what? The answer is you probably can't. Whales are varied in their interests. Whales are, in a lot of cases, somebody with a lot of crypto. And you know what? This is a good topic. Let's roll with this a little bit. Whales, for one reason or another, are interested in profit, right? Why do you collect a lot of tokens of any sort? Why, in the crypto space, do you accumulate? And the reason is you want that number go up, right? That's a thing that you're interested in. Oh, I didn't tweet. I'm getting DMs. Go tweet. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's do that. You know, you say whales blah, and I don't disagree, but at the same time, remember, a whale is someone that believes really strongly in the ecosystem, strongly enough to back it with money or to hold stake that they've earned over time. So, you know, you never want to see an ecosystem without whales. What you want to see is an ecosystem with a healthy distribution of whales. And sometimes with Hive, because we're quite small, we feel uncomfortable because we're like, man, whales rule everything around me. It's like cream, but ream. But the reality is on Hive, if nothing else, you can say at least that the largest stakeholder on the Hive blockchain holds 4% of totality and is anonymous. Where, if you're looking at something like, say, Doge right now, 80% of all Doge in existence is in the top, I don't know, 100 wallets, less. And if you're looking at, you know, a majority of it, it's in under 300 wallets, is 90%. But you know, we hear all these people, I just bought some Doge. It's not a bad thing. It's just remember that distribution is fucky. It's the same thing in Bitcoin. You have institutions that come in with incredible power to buy, but you've also got the ability to have lots and lots of people who are buying sats as well. And sort of the way that things scale Just depends on the passion of your whales. So yeah, the Hive blockchain can be really tricky because above and beyond the idea of, how do we put this? The idea of earning rewards from whales. Those whales ended up becoming whales in one way or another. They either traded for their stake, they stuck around for 5 years after, mining or being a witness for a long time or buying in, or, there are a lot of reasons that whales are whales. And so instantly hating them, not a great idea. Hating the system that maybe sees wealth distribution immediately fall into one pocket. Yeah, okay, that's a little more valid. And so Hive has some of that. And at the same time, if you compare Hive to a lot of blockchains out there, it's a way better distribution. And so we fall somewhere in the middle. You can be kind of mad about some things and less mad about other things. And hopefully somewhere in the middle, you are hopeful and also interested in making the system better. And that's how I look at Hive. I'm hopeful because in a lot of ways, we've already got an incredible distribution mechanism and a really great distribution across the blockchain. I also see that in some ways, I would like to find more equitable ways of, say, governance voting, for example. And so that is part of the discussions that are moving into our next hard fork. So before we kind of roll too far down that road, knowing that we will talk about this in the coming weeks, we can kind of pull back a little bit. But to come back to the idea, the Hive specific topic of how do I get people to vote on my posts? I think, and this may or may not be a hot take, and this may or may not be offensive, so please don't be. I think that people underestimate the hustle that goes into sort of that breaking the ice on a big vote. Whales want to profit. Any whale that apes into anything that they're holding, whether it's a crypto token, whether it's a physical asset, a whale is someone who's got a whole lot of something. That's the whale that they are. They're big bag of whatever it is. In the case of Hive, whales, they want that to be worth something. And so in Hive's case, some of them can decide to vote to curate, grow their stake that way, because it's not like other chains where just staking owns you. No, not we must hold more, although you can. The reality is anyone who wants to build up a stake or a position or become a whale someday, you're going to have to do some hodling or some buying. And if you're not willing to do any of those things, then you're probably not going to become a whale, and you can't get mad at whales who have. So, just comparison is the thief of joy. But let's talk about whales. Let's talk about whales voting. It's unlike other things in the DeFi ecosystem, and this is something that's really important in the crypto space right now. Everything and anything, yeah, exactly. Do everything for me, make me rich. Well, the problem is crypto is moving in this space. So how did we get here? And that's a real great topic too. Is it possible? Okay, I'll tweet. I'm getting DMs. One sec. Let's do this. We are live now. Come hop in. All right. Should I link up Vim? Let's link up Vim TV. Let's do it. Let's do this. Do it up. All right, hang on. We're going to grab that Vim link. I'm going to tweet it, and then we'll continue with this topic. But the how did we get here question is really relevant. And part of it is we have been through a couple different cycles in the crypto market already, right? So let's talk a little bit about that, because I think that's really important. In the last, what's the point between orca and whale? How much HP to be a whale? Shadows Pup, that's a great question. And I don't even fucking know. It's not quite HP. The idea is a certain amount of vests. The idea is a certain amount of staked vests. And what that means is over time, those vests correlate to a different amount of HP. And everybody's got a different definition. Who cares? A whale to me is somebody with like 50K Hive and above-ish. I don't know. The idea of these sort of gamified delineations, cool beans. It's helpful, but at the same time, it's not official. It's not meaningful. You're never going to go somewhere else and kind of be like, I am a plankton. I'm a redfish. Every ecosystem has terms, but it's a fun gamification thing, or comparatively, it's a thing that makes you feel bad. Hey, Sir Lunch, haven't seen you in ages. I'm glad that you're here. Free Willy when it comes to the whales. Absolutely. That's so cool, man. I'm glad to see you around. So we've been through a couple different market cycles, and Hive is going to kind of have to figure out what to do, because in the first market cycle, you guys remember, DeFi wasn't a thing. So let's take a look at sort of how did Bitcoin start really on the up and up. People wanted better control over their personal finance. They wanted an opportunity to be able to say, hey, I have a personal control, a personal stake, an ability to control the wealth, and in a lot of cases, control where I transact value. That's very meaningful. And the whole crypto ecosystem kind of rose on the back of that. Hi, more people are joining us on Vim. Don't be afraid to say hi, friendos. I would love to see you. But so here's the deal. That was where we started. And if you guys remember, it was, we need more tokens. We need more places, more ways to become more financially secure and independent. And we need the opportunity to create debt mechanisms, wealth transfer, value schemes even, so that we can compete with the entrenched fiat monetary system. That was the idea, right? We're going to challenge the banks. I don't want to go to a bank and beg someone for my money. I want to hold it. I want to own it. I want to trade it with whoever I want. I don't want their fees. I want to transact peer to peer, and I want to have some control. And that's where this whole crypto ecosystem has risen out of, right? So that was our first kind of couple market cycles, and our very early OGs kind of lifted things up from there. And so when you think about that, it's a very different mindset. And so especially it was, we need more tokens, we need more options. So what happened in the last giant bull market? ICOs. Let's make new tokens. Let's try new ways of taking a lot of this crypto ideology and seeing if it'll work. Well, we've done that already. The ICO craze, all that money, everything. We've already seen whales can be made and whales can be broken. And that was a large part of the bull run of 2018 or whenever the hell it was. Well, here we are. We're in a bull run again. And things are different this time. We're seeing a lot of DeFi, decentralized finance. And that still has a lot of the same underlying ideas, the huge underlying ideas. They're all the same. I want to profit. I want to generate, control, hold, be in charge of my own value. That's the same. But now people are starting to look at, well, you know what? In the traditional fiat system, the people who are whales, that's Wall Street, that's the big banks. These are the entrenched fiat systems that fuck us over. The people at the top, that 1%. Well, that's the whales in the real fiat world. In the crypto world, I can be a whale. Anyone can be a whale. It doesn't necessarily have to be them. And so people are starting to realize, what are the structures in the real world that these whales are using? Passive income. They are lending and making mad fees. They are doing flash loans. All of the things that kind of exist in the existing fiat structure, people are trying to find ways to disrupt and take over in crypto. And so that's what issuance of debt. Gabriel knows a lot about that. So that's what we're starting to see this bull market. We're starting to see lots of leverage trading. We're starting to see loans peer-to-peer. We're starting to see liquidity pools. And I know a lot of this stuff, if you're not a crypto person and you're here for the synthwave, or you're just really excited, I'm getting a new dog, this means nothing to you. But it's a very fascinating topic, and there are some great reads around this. And I was thinking maybe in the coming weeks too, I'm going to put aside some of the books that I've read in the time that I've been in crypto that have really helped me start thinking differently about finances, because I'm not someone who studies economics. I'm not someone, in my before crypto, before CyberBuzz, before all of the things that got me interested in doing this show, I was okay with my money. I was kind of mad that the world isn't super equitable, but I never had a great handle on this. And one thing that I can say, Hive, Bitcoin, ETH, whatever crypto that, I've kind of rolled with over the last couple years, I've learned more about the way that money works, about the way that people work, about the way that the world works from this sort of vantage point than I ever did being out in the fiat world. And I think that's really interesting. So we got to this place because John was asking about whales on Hive and how do you get a whale to do anything? Well, the reality is, whether it's in crypto, on Hive, in Bitcoin, out in the real world, real estate mogul, the only way to get somebody to do something is to have it align with what they want to see. And so right now, there's a lot of DeFi topics that are really, really hot because everybody in the world wants to park their money somewhere, wants to build up value, and then just have it magically make more value, right? I want to get in a liquidity pool. I want to stake my funds and just have more money show up. So there are absolutely whales on Hive that are staking their Hive power because they want to curate, because they want to earn more Hive. Absolutely. But a lot of the discussions right now are around, is that enough to get more people interested? Is that enough to make our ecosystem and this blockchain exciting to the people who aren't interested in curating? And that's bringing up a lot of new topics and a lot of talk again around rewards in the Hive ecosystem. And this is something that I think for the next hard fork and beyond is going to continue to be an important topic. Hive has aspects of DeFi already built in. Hive has the potential to fit a lot of things that are happening around the crypto ecosystem. Are we going to capitalize on them? I don't know. So I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, especially because already we're a half an hour into the show. That's a quarter of the way through the show already. And we haven't even talked about any of the other fun stuff. But I think this topic is one that we absolutely should do kind of a special on. And I think part of this live AMA not AMA, that's a dumb name, but this live session with some of the core devs and some of the witnesses and some of the people, just interested stakeholders. I want to hold that in a couple weeks. I think this is one of those topics that's really going to be interesting and part of it. So I'm going to make sure to let you guys know. Like I said, Block Trades is interested, and there are quite a few other people that I've already mentioned it to who think, yeah, this would be really cool. So I'm going to try and put that together, and I'll let you guys know when it's coming. So let's have a quick palate cleanser because it is chill today. There's not a ton of you in the Discord, but I see lots of you watching in other places around the web. And I'm excited in the coming weeks to also have Theta up and running and just really kind of let you watch wherever you want to watch, interact wherever you want to interact, and make this show a lot of fun. So yeah, Shadows Pup, thanks. Absolutely. Because I think it's really great. There's lots of people who aren't whales who have really interesting things to say. There's lots of people who are whales who have really interesting things to say, and everyone in between. And to me, that's kind of the magic of Hive. You know, people often send me messages and then they'll be like, oh, you're a top 20 witness. Yeah, who cares? I'm a people. Marky's in here too. We're people, man. And let's be very realistic. I have absolutely no special skills whatsoever, except that I really love blockchain and people. So everybody will be better off if we just keep talking to each other and looking at making the whole ecosystem better and understanding each other better as people, right? So, okay. I had mentioned that I'm in a celebratory mood and that I do want to play you guys some great music today. And some of the topics I'm going to bring up is I'm going to play some music from artists who are doing streams later today. So if you decide you want to put something on, you want to listen to some cool synthwave, I got a couple streams to highlight for you. That'll be really cool and really interesting. You heard whales smell bad? Oh, well, that's good because I'm not a whale. But I bet you smell delightful, Marky. I bet you smell like crushed dreams and, you know, all of sugar and spice and everything nice. But I like you nonetheless. I'm glad you're here, Marky. Please don't ever forget that. All right, for the rest of you, music from streams coming up today. I love synthwave. It's one of those things where I love the retro aspect of it. I like a lot of it comes from this sort of imagined soundscape of a Blade Runner-esque future. We often talk about sci-fi and the retro future on this show. Well, I was thinking that I'd play you a quick track by a female artist called Zarina. And she is going to be hosting, or at least part of a stream called Halfway to Halloween. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? We are indeed halfway to Halloween. Now, I love Halloween. I love spookiness. I love all of the things that come along with Halloween. It's a great, fun excuse to let a little loose and, make believe and have a lot of fun. So she's doing a performance later today at a stream called Halfway to Halloween. Lots of cool dark synth and goth and dark wave and kind of, Depeche Mode-esque 80s synth music. So I'm going to play, and she's really interesting because she's a single musician that puts together these really cool synth tracks and sings herself, and she's just this weird space babe, and her music's really fun and interesting. So I've dropped the link to it in chat. It's the Halfway to Halloween Festival, and I'm going to play a little bit of her music here for you guys. It's CyberBuzz Radio. My name is Crimsonclad. Every Saturday, I'm here with this show. Every Thursday night, Friday morning, whatever, I'm doing a show called Full Force Radio, and I'm hoping to start really soon doing some more game streaming and chatting and just kind of like playing with the community and focusing a little more on building these relationships instead of always working quietly in the background. And I'll continue doing that too. But listen, you're here. I'm here. We're going to have a great time. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'm going to play you a track by Zarina. It's called Silence and Surrender here on CyberBuzz Radio. Now, I joined that Discord room earlier. Let's see if it breaks everything. Let's test it. It doesn't work. It works for me and not for you. Oh, this is why nothing can be updated on the fly, because it's literally, I was testing it earlier and it worked and now it doesn't. Okay, one more time. Let's change one more setting. Everybody cross your fingers, cross your toes. Dog can't cross anything, but I'm going to pretend his ears are crossed. Ready?
Tightly chained to her soul's take the fall, lost in lost forever. Take control, come reach down, take deep into my bones, break the walls. I hear you calling. Cut so deep, pierces lead us family, penetrating silently. Cut so deep, unraveling us gracefully. Pleasures are mine, pleasures are mine.
There you go. All right, so we're sort of making it work, and I actually realized that my camera's at a different mode so that in some views, it's not actually wide, sadly. It's not wide, but I promise you, I am wide, huge tracts of land. Welcome to everybody who's joining us. That track was track by Sarina. And just in chat earlier, I had dropped a link to her tweet. She's in the halfway to Halloween Fest later today. Dark electro, industrial goth, dark wave, post-punk metal. It's a lot of fun. So if you're looking for a stream to do later today, that might be interesting to you. Hey, kitty girl. Hey, kitty girl. I feel like RuPaul when I say that. That's a RuPaul thing. Hey, kitty girl. Crim, she's alive. Was I not alive? Well, I'm always alive. I'm Frankensteining here. God damn it. So there you go. I can never make these headphones work and play. Their touch. I can never do it when I want to. Sometimes I'm like, ooh, I'm going to be so cool. I'm going to start the song. Nothing happens. Now, I'm waving my arms around like a complete spaz case, managed to accidentally touch my shoulder to my headphones, and the music plays. I can't win. I'm a disaster. I'm the world's worst streamer. But hey, if nothing else, you can come back every show and have have a little fun with us. Hopefully, enjoy the entertainment. Jump in on some of the conversations. I see lots of people are watching all over the place right now, and I'm so happy to have you. If you're wondering how you get your avatar kind of floating, yeah, just put my shoulder to work. I will. I gotta work on this. I need more muscle definition, so you're all gonna be more impressed by me. Be impressed! That's the other thing about kind of the world opening back up again. I'm not ready. I look like trash. I mean, I look like trash all the time, but if the world opens back up and I look like this, oh no. Oh, well. Anyways, welcome. This is CyberBuzz Radio. My name is Crimsonclad, and I am broadcasting to you from a bunch of different places, but the number one coolest place to watch is either mspwaves.com or Vim TV. Why? Because they're decentralized. They are social broadcasting, live streaming, blockchain-centric, and honestly, they allow you to have better control over your content creation and, your followers and all of the things that you build. So check them out. Now, today, we started off the show we kind of spiraled down into the blockchain topic, as we always and often do. I shared my news with you guys, which is I'm getting a new dog. I'm so excited. I applied to a new rescue, and I got the news just last night in the middle of the night that I am approved. So I will be bringing home and welcoming a new member to my family in the next month or two, which is really cool. And after that, after I played the music, everybody immediately left off all the other platforms. So high five, good job. But we also started talking a little bit about crypto whales and Hive whales and distribution. Murphy will never be number 2. Murphy is the mentor. Hey, Shane, you joined. That's really cool. I'm excited. No, he'll never be number 2. And in fact, one of the reasons that I'm doing this is because when I first got Murphy, I had another dog, and her name was Berta. And I've always had 2 dogs. So I had Goofy and Berta, and Goofy passed away. And Berta was sad. Berta was really, really sad. You know, animals grieve, humans grieve. We talk about whether or not robots can grieve. But Berta came a long way. And I actually wrote a post about her because she was very badly abused. And Goof, my other dog, helped her learn that life was safe. And when he passed away, she was lost. She was so lost, and so was I. And so some of my friends in the rescue industry said, you might not be ready. Your heart might not be ready to welcome another dog, but Berta needs one, so you should do it. And the rescue sent me Murphy. You guys can't see him, but he's here. You can kind of see just his tail, but he's right here. The rescue sent him, and they said, listen, love him and introduce him to Bert, and he will help her learn, and she will teach him how to be a dog, because he was very young at the time. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Well, Bert, a couple years ago, and actually before I flew out to see some of you guys, Bert passed away also. She was an older dog. And Murphy Yeah, and I'm hoping to get Murphy posting again because he is really sweet. And I think there's absolutely room out there for Murphy or a dog or a fun, dorky kind of lens of a dog to teach some of the crypto stuff and to teach some of blockchain and decentralization topics from the perspective of an animal who's cute and kind of dorky. But so long story short is Murphy's been alone for the last couple of years, and I was taking a break from having a second dog because honestly, losing two older dogs in a short time frame, or what felt like a short time frame, was really hard on me. I had adopted them older knowing that I wouldn't get very much time with them. But when Bert passed, I was pretty broken. And so it's been a couple years. I've been thinking about this. Murphy is now older. He's about 6, and he's at the perfect age to mentor another dog who doesn't know how to dog, another dog who needs a friend, who needs security, who needs just a little bit of love, right? Just like people, you know? So it's time. So I'm going to bring a new dog in, and the two of them are going to be, I hope, thick as thieves, and they're going to round out my life experience as well. So that's really why I'm doing this. I think it's the perfect number for me, and I love Murphy's going to get a younger girl who's going to keep him on his toes and keep him acting young and friendly and vibrant. And he's going to help her learn what it's like to live in a house and be loved and not have rocks thrown at her, and, you know, understand that people and animals can have really meaningful bonds. So that's the hope. Anyways, we'll see. So I'm looking forward to kind of you guys seeing that as part of, you know, the background to the shows too. But for now, just Murphy, and he's number one. They'll both be number one. Anybody who's ever had a dog, a cat, a companion animal, I guess maybe a kid. I'm indifferent towards children, but if you have a kid, everybody believes their dog, cat, kid, blank, insert, rat, rabbit, bird is the best, and everybody is right. Okay, so we started talking a little bit about whales in the crypto space. We talked about the last bull run, and we talked a little bit about how we moved through the sort of crypto values and how the last bull run of like 2018 was ICO centric because a lot of people were trying to kind of recreate a more equitable way of how the Wall Street 1% in the fiat world were making and growing value, but starting to do that on a personal level in sort of a freedom. Yeah, exactly. A kid is basically a companion animal, right? I mean, some parents put them on leashes and everything, right? You can't take them everywhere. You have to make sure the place allows them. You know, you're constantly training them. Sometimes they're helpful if you got to go get something from under a table, or, you know, you've fallen and you can't get up. Kids are basically companion animals. Makes sense to me. And then we cycled through and we started talking about this bull run, and we started talking about it in the context of the Hive blockchain. And we were talking a little bit about how the idea of DeFi, decentralized finance, and some of the things that are really popular right now, you know, staking and liquidity pools and flash loans and leverage trading and all of the things, passive income that in the real world really is mostly accessible to, let's call it, fiat financial elites. Here, hello, goodbye, you're off to confirm there are real people out there. I look forward to the photos, my friend. So the fiat financial elite can do that. Your house broken? All right, perfect. Come on in, BT. And good for you. I'm impressed. Not everybody's nailed that one yet. So high five. Good job. Congrats. Focus, camera. Focus. Fuck yous. There we go. All right. So that was what we talked about before the break. And then I played you guys some music by Zarina, and I pointed out that she's got a stream halfway to Halloween Fest. Hello, Chris UK. Well, hello there. So, you know, we've got a little bit of everything, and I wanted to kind of move on to some less blockchain topics because there's some cool stuff going on. And one of the things that I wanted to show you guys was NFT related. Now, you know that, or maybe you don't, but I'm one of the project members of NFT Showroom, and I like a lot of the ideas that NFTs challenge. The idea of chain of custody, of ownership, of, you know, enduring royalties of better peer-to-peer relationships and value exchange. And so, am I playing Gary Newman today? I'm not actually. If I didn't have a bunch of songs picked out, I probably would totally jump on that. I love Gary Newman. And I actually, because Fear Factory just released a new single, I might go back to Gary Newman and Cars and some of his more classic, weird, experimental albums that before anybody ever heard the song Cars, some of the weird stuff that he did before and after. That's a Full Force Radio. That's a topic for another day. Today, I want to show you guys something that I've been kind of watching in the background that I think is a really interesting idea. Now, NFTs are everywhere. Everybody's talking about them. We know Twitter, the news, Christie's, NFT. That's a buzzword now. It's a whole thing that gets people's eyeballs and attention. They're worse for the planet. They're the best thing ever. You know, all I got to do is shit out, one naked 3D astronaut blender render, and I'm going to make $2 million and I can retire on fat crypto magic money. It's not quite the case, but that's the world's sort of response to NFTs, isn't it? The thing that I want to show you guys is actually something, and it's starting to look a little bit different. It's starting to explore some of the other possibilities that NFTs can kind of open up for everybody. I need fresh tea. Yeah, I do, and I'll probably get some after. I'm just finishing up my morning coffee. I have a bit of gin down here on the table, but yeah, tea, absolutely. Tea and rest. Very good for you. And more people are jumping in on the YouTube, so say hi. BT, I don't know if I've ever seen you before, but if you guys want to chat, if you want to direct the conversation, you can do that too. But so the thing I'm going to bring up, I'm going to drop a Twitter link in chat, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about this. So NFTs, non-fungible tokens, you may or may not know what that is, and that's okay. We'll talk a little bit about this, but let me show you this account, and you guys can check it out. So there is something called Decipher, and this is a TV show, and the idea is it's interactive TV. It's dark and spooky. It's puzzle solving. It's an anthology of sort of dark stories and mysteries. You watch, you interact, you engage, you try and solve some of the puzzles and mysteries, and you earn NFTs as you watch and participate. Now, they cannot be funged. Yes, and that's Izaria and some of our other watchers. They love that word, fungible, fungible. It's, if you say it a lot, it's kind of like moist or any of those other words. The more you say it, the less meaning it has. So, don't get funged, kids. But yeah, so this is a really interesting concept, and we're going to see more and more of that. So up to this point, there's a lot of NFTs that are happening out there that are very much like collections, collectibles. And if you were here with me a couple weeks ago, I had Commun As You Spat on this show, Lars, and we talked a little bit about the Wax blockchain. We talked about some of the cool stuff that's happening with collectible NFTs. If you're a member of Hive, you probably heard about NFT Showroom. That's the aspect of art, NFTs. But so we're finally kind of delving into NFTs that move beyond a collectible, a piece of art, something that you look at and that are attached to you. Sir Lunch is saying NFT cartoons are the way for sure. Now, Sir Lunch, you've always been working on cartoons, so I'd love to hear more about what you're doing. Maybe you can hop on one day, or you might want to throw something in chat. But so here's this TV show. Now, there are games also out there. We've talked a little bit about NFTs and their usage in games and blockchain gaming. Unique items, unique characters, you can't lose them. They can't be taken from you. You can sell them. They have their own sort of existence that cannot be replicated in any way, shape, or form. Gaming makes sense too, but here's the first kind of step towards something that normies or, people might be moving towards that is a really interesting aspect of what's possible with an NFT. And often when we talk about this, we say, hey, NFTs, if you don't believe that they are going to be the future of how a content creator or a brand or a program interacts with its fans, you're crazy. And this is where we're starting to see it. So I'd love for you guys to take a look at this. We might talk about it a little bit more in the future, but this is a really interesting idea coming from Cypherpunk Studio, and you'll be able to find a bunch of things about the concept of it and why and how it exists. And I've got some videos about it, but I'm already looking and we're almost halfway through the show. So I'm putting this out there. I want you guys to watch some of the trailers if you get a chance. You can find them. Their Twitter is quite new as well. Their Twitter is Decipher TV Show, and they've got a bunch of links there for you to check out. But what do you think about something like that? Entertainment that could potentially either directly lead to a collection for you, could directly lead to you earning, tokens or rewards or being interactive. How do you feel about that? Because one of the things that I find for a lot of people is that they are not sure if they want to see a lot of their entertainment become interactive in this way. So there's lots of people who play games specifically because they're interactive. There's a lot of people who watch TV shows or movies. Hey, Clay, watch TV shows or movies specifically because they don't want to interact. They don't care. They just want to consume. They want something passive and they're chill about it. Well, this is a weird space in the middle. It is an almost Black Mirror-esque engagement in stories and whatnot. And Gabe is saying you want to do NFTs and then a numbered print of that set. And yes, you absolutely can do that. That's really cool, and I'd love to see more people exploring that option. And if any of you guys are watching or listening and you want to learn a little bit more about the NFT art space, feel free to shoot me a message. If you want to learn a little bit more about augmented reality, companion pieces, or things like that, I can always give you some tips, or I can help hook you up with somebody who can. So whatever reason you're here, there's cool stuff going on. And actually, there's a lot of people in the synthwave community, a lot of synthwave artists. They're a natural fit for the NFT space, and they've become kind of part of this growing crypto space just by dint of liking cool, spacey, cybery music, which is pretty neat. Now, we're halfway through the show. I'm going to play you guys another quick track. We're going to listen to some music. We're going to shake it out, and we'll move on to the next topic. My name is Crimsonclad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. It's, depending on where you're watching or listening, it's not quite radio. It is live streaming, but it's a different type of live streaming. Hopefully it's fun and informative. I want to play you guys some good music and celebrate the fact that I'm getting a new dog. Ask your questions, your comments, and let's have a good time today. So I'm going to play you guys some music. I am going to play something remixed by FM Attack. Now, FM Attack is a synthwave artist from here in Vancouver who has been making music for like 12-ish years as FM Attack, as a synthwave artist. And it's some of the most early synthwave that I listen to. And he's got music that has run the gamut of all sorts of different styles. Very 80s, like aerobics style, very 80s sort of new wave synth, depressive goth style, some really melodic stuff, some super computery beepy boopy stuff. Well, he's decided to kind of shut down the project, and he released one last album. It's a beautiful album. It's got a picture of Vancouver, the downtown Vancouver core in the sunset on the front of the album. And so I thought, okay, I'm going to play something. I'm going to play something kind of in honor of that. And you guys hopefully will take a peek at his full discography. I can hook you up with that. My name is Crimsonclad. The track is called Slaves. Hang around because I've got another hour left in the show today, and I got some more fun topics to talk to you guys about here on MSP Waves, Vim TV, wherever you are, wherever I am.
gone. Only what you have to offer. All these days that disappear, slip through your fingers like sentimental pictures. You used to be a slave to your emotions, so emotional. I used to be a slave to your emotions, so emotional. Oh, we're not alive. Spirit slowly dies, waiting in the shadow. Mean nothing to me now. Drowning out the sound, waiting for tomorrow. All the faces you forget, thrown away. A breaking situation. All the aching cold regret, just distress. A dull need of shelter. You used to be a slave to your emotions, so emotional. I used to be afraid of your emotions, so emotional. Oh, we're not alive. Spirit slowly dies, waiting in the shadow. Mean nothing to me now. Drowning out the sound, waiting for tomorrow. Oh, we're not alive. Oh, we're not alive. Oh, we're not alive. Oh, we're not
All right, there you go. Ah, sorry, wasn't quick enough. There you go. All right, so I'm a big fan. It's the FM Attack remix of a track called Slaves by Actor. It's a fucking sick track. It's good fun. It's a little synthy. And for some of you, I know you only come for the talk, and so you hate when I play music. And for some of you, you wish I would only play music and I would shut the hell up. So, Crimsonclad here. Disappointing and making people upset since 2017 or whenever I started doing this show. But hey, this is CyberBuzz. We talk about disruptive tech, synthwave, the retro future, blockchain and crypto a lot. And specifically the Hive blockchain is where everything kind of started. So if you got questions, you got comments, if there's stuff that you want to talk about, we could do it live on air. And if not, then that's okay, because I've got some stuff I want to show you. We started out the show talking a little bit about whales and market cycles and sort of how we got to where we are right now in the crypto space and what's popular and what's going on. Talking a little bit about hopefully doing like a live sort of chat and Q&A period around some of the upcoming details of the Hive hard fork in the future, with some of the core devs and things like that. So that's really cool. I'll let you guys know more about that coming up. And then we moved into talking a little bit about NFTs, and I was showing you guys this sort of upcoming TV show and the idea of watching and engaging through social media and blockchain with a dark anthology TV show called Decipher and potentially earning NFTs for it. So, like, super packed first hour, man. Like, seriously, super packed. And Patient Zero has photoshopped me with a giant, veiny, ripped, bulging arm, a quirky steampunk top hat, and a fat dart. I mean, that's pretty amazing. I feel like I should put it on the overlay because my arm looks pretty. Got one big, beefy arm coming out of the back of my neck there. I'm basically Trogdor. So, Gabe is asking in the chat, I wanted to know how I could transition from a salaried full-time career into eking an existence from crypto. Very carefully. This is one of those things where everybody panics and yells, not financial advice. You absolutely can. Absolutely. There are people doing it right now. Look at the dog just laying in front of the door. He's so desperate to leave. But you absolutely can. The only thing is you have to be of strong will and with conviction, because one of the things and some of the best advice I've seen in the crypto space, and probably could go for the rest of everything you do, whether you're watching because you're a synthwave artist, or you are a visual artist, or you're just somebody who wants to live stream or podcast, let me kind of throw this out there because it's one of the sort of best pieces of advice that I personally have heard about this. And it is simply, you have to be able to ignore some of the things that happen in the good times. You have to be able to kind of tune out some of the noise that comes with that number go up physics. We are right now in this, the beginnings, or maybe the middle, depending on, what your personal beliefs are, of a bull market in crypto. And what that means is everywhere you look, anyone having visions of bubble-headed blondes in pastel leotards. Yes, exactly. That music is so perfect, right? He's talking about the track that I just played, I hope. Everybody should be wearing their national aerobics competition onesies, leg warmers, yeah, all of it, and just kind of when you see that GIF and they're all just, we should all be doing that. But so the best advice that I ever got was, you need to be able to kind of tune out the emotional extremes. And so what that means is when things are good and they're really good, don't get your head caught in that space. Wes! Hello, Wes. Deranged Visions in here. That's so exciting. You never love me anymore, so I'm happy. I'm happy you're hanging. But so here's the deal. You have to follow to follow. Thank you, Trovo friend. I'm live right now, but I'm guessing that you're out there networking as best you can. You have to kind of tune it out. So right now, it's easy. Everywhere you look, somebody else is leaving the traditional financial market. They've made their first degen million in the crypto space. They got drunk one night and they threw some fucking money at a crypto named after spaghetti because they thought, I'll throw something to the wall and see what sticks. Haha, spaghetti. And then all of a sudden they just made all of the money in the world. And you're looking at this and you're like, yes, yes, yes. It gets really exciting. It gets really intoxicating. And so when you're on the right path and when you're doing something well, everything is intoxicating. It feels so good. But at the same time, if you are susceptible to that same kind of overhype and overexcitement, you're going to be just as susceptible to the depression and the FUD and the bad times. And so this is one of those things that I never really thought about when I heard this advice, which was basically, be as willing to temper your response to the amazing times as you are to temper your response to the bad times. It's not don't celebrate. It's not don't be excited. Don't stop innovating. But even when things are good, keep learning, keep moving, be cautious, make yourself as future-proof as possible, even if things are good, because you're always going to keep moving forward that way. And when things get bad, you're going to be in a good habit and you're going to be in a good place, right? Things can't always be perfect. So if you want to move full-time into crypto, You can. But the problem with crypto for a lot of people is that, again, momentum is hard to maintain. And right now, it feels like this is the time. I got to move into crypto. I got to learn it all right now. I got to make all the money right now before it's gone again. And that's a problem because, yeah, market cycles are common. But what it means is when we hit the next bear market, there's going to be a lot of people who didn't necessarily, Sir Lunch is saying, don't change direction according to the wind of crypto. Just maybe have an umbrella or pull your hood up or whatever. Because there are going to be a lot of people who don't necessarily think about that part. And when we hit the next bear market, they are going to have exited, the fiat structure. And that's awesome. Good for them. But they're going to struggle. And that's so hard. So if you right now are thinking moving full-time into crypto, great. I highly encourage that you start exploring this space as ways to reclaim some of your social freedom, as ways to reclaim some of your financial freedom, and as ways for you to really understand, you guys know one of my favorite sayings, right? Personal responsibility. It's the perfect way. But at the same time, there are only a few people who can really, with conviction, jump right the fuck off that cliff without a second thought. I'm not saying don't chase your dreams. I am saying move carefully. Think about what you need to survive in the worst case scenario. Make sure you have that safety net in place and then chase your dreams. Crypto has a lot of things about it, whether it is decentralized finance, whether it is passive income, whether it is simply just sort of securing your own ability for personal custody or personal responsibility. There are so many opportunities in this space during a bull market or a bear market. But don't wreck yourself, because if you think it's so easy, I just got to quit my job, no fucking problem, you're probably not going to do so hot. You're probably not going to do so hot when the bear market comes. Hey, Mr. D has joined us. Lots of people hopping in. I see tons of people watching on YouTube and Vim TV. Welcome. So CyberBuzz today, we're kind of waxing sentimental about the crypto space in general. We've been talking a little bit about the Hive blockchain. We have been talking a little bit about the bear and bull markets and all sorts of things. But we've also been talking about yes, the first winter in the wilderness is always the hardest. Perfect. Hey, Why Libertarian, welcome. And actually, Why Libertarian's channel and his sort of brand of content. If you are thinking about moving into the decentralized space, if you are thinking of moving into a kind of discovering more liberty in your life, more personal responsibility, his content is probably going to be really interesting to you. He is working on right now decentralizing everything. And lots of people in the crypto space are doing that. Now here in the chat, Wes is saying, I've actually quit my job and I've moved full-time crypto as well. So one of the big things that you have to keep in mind too is, what is your cost of living? If you are expecting to hop straight into crypto, keeping your idea of cost of living might not be possible. And what that means is if you are diving straight into crypto and you're not bringing a lot of assets with you, what that means is you're going to have to build up assets. You're going to have to trade for them. You're going to have to find some way to earn them, whatever the case may be. But if you are cutting off your sort of traditional fiat assets and you are moving into the crypto space without bringing some of them with you, you are going to probably get a very rude awakening. And the cost of living these days with inflation everywhere is pretty crazy. So you have to think for yourself, do I have a plan for income? Whether it is, I'm going to move, say, maybe my payment gateway. Maybe you're somebody who creating, random internet guy, right? Come Rocket. And this is a great... This is a great example, is right now, you can't go wrong. In a bull market, you could pick up a handful of darts and you could just huck them and then just buy the assets that they land on. And there's a chance that you could at least come out with the same amount or a little bit more money. It's the Wild West right now. And that's not to say that there aren't rug pulls and there aren't scams, because holy fuck there are. But in a bull market, it's a lot easier to get it right. that doesn't prepare you for the times that you're going to get it wrong. And nobody gets it right all the time. And the market can stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent. And what that means is, what is my cost of living? And do I have a plan for making and meeting that minimum cost of living? Because then, once you have that, that's your security blanket. And then you really can start experimenting, playing, having fun, chasing the things that are passionate and finding ways to monetize it. In a bear market, yeah, so it's totally true. And Drenched Visions is saying you can actually make more money in a bear market, which is true. But a lot of people don't necessarily have either the experience or the emotional stability for a bear market. And so just as we started this topic today, if you've been hopping in, if you've been listening, we were talking a little bit about some of the great advice that I'd seen recently. And that is, can you emotionally detach yourself from the good times? Because if you can, you're probably also going to be emotionally able to detach yourself from the bad times. And what that means is you are going to be able to guide your ship on course, regardless of what's happening around you. Not everybody can. And money and crypto and social and online, they are these crazy spiraling sort of aspects of life that tie emotion into it. It's hard not to be jealous when you see somebody make their first $1 million on fucking Shiba coin. Or it's hard not to be scared because you put your life savings into something and it dropped a little bit and all of a sudden you've never had impermanent loss or permanent loss before. So there's a lot about the crypto market that jumping into the crypto full time, I would encourage everybody to think about it and to try and strive for it. But what I wouldn't encourage everybody to do is just straight up fucking do it. Unless you are bringing assets with you or you have a really great game plan or, people around you or a network that you have the ability to kind of not lean back on, but certainly that is there for you, right? So how would you get started in it? Right now, in this particular market, you would want to be looking for things that allow you to work your ass off to earn without necessarily buying in, or you are looking for ways to buy in and park your assets in either a liquidity pool, a staking pool, a trading venue that allows you to more passively make income. Because for a lot of people, the problem with crypto is crypto never stops. It's not like the traditional, wait till bear market to go full time. Agreed, Mr. Fatface, because if you are able to do it in the bear market, if you're able to kind of tune your needs to the bear market, there's only up to go. There's eventually going to be a bull market cycle and it's going to take you with it. But if you start in the bull market and you're not ready and you hit a bear, that's going to be a long drop for you. But everybody's got advice. There's some great stuff going on in chat. So anybody that's watching this later on, make sure you read the chat along with it. My advice is simply one of many. I've been through a bear market now, a couple. Technically, I'm not a crypto OG, but I've certainly been in crypto longer than I've been on the Hive blockchain. And the reality comes back to, be smart, think about your needs, network well, find something that you're passionate about and that you can tie monetization to, and really make sure that you love what you do. Because if you can't bring assets with you into the crypto space, then you need to find a way to make sure that you can grow the assets you've got. Now, is that APR? Is that something like participating in flash loans? Is that I'm going to stake and I'm going to earn interest, which frankly you can do in the crypto space right now more easily than you can through the fiat banking system. And that says a lot about the world's economics because let's face it, inflation is insane. So many 2017 YouTubers who are great disappeared in 2018, 2019. Yeah. And that's the other thing is you do well and then you say, fuck it, I'm never coming back. And you're not doing it for the joy of it all, right? You need to have something in your life that drives you. That's not just money. Money's good. Money can bring you hobbies that bring you happiness. Indirect happiness. But, the reality is I want to see you guys all succeed and do well. So there's some great tips in chat, and we're trucking along. Holy crap, we're moving from topic to topic today. It's quite hypnotic. But I do want to talk about some other stuff. There are some other things that I want to talk about. And of course, I have a couple of different... A Lamborghini can drive you. Yeah, good point. Okay. I know it's not cool either in the synthwave community or in the crypto community, but like Lambos are ugly. I don't like the way they look. I'm sorry. Hot, unpopular take. I don't actually think they're particularly attractive cars. Okay, so listen. Let's do one more track because I picked out a lot of great music for you guys today. I've already played Zarina, and I shared with you guys that she's doing the Halfway to Halloween Stream Fest today, and I actually have another Stream Fest. So there's an artist called Starfarer who is a really cool, engaged synthwave artist in the scene, and he puts together the Synth Valley Stream Fest. And so what that is it's essentially a stream that brings together a bunch of artists. They all go live. It's kind of a party. Everybody comes and hangs out. Everybody plays live music. And it's all around, synthwave music. And Starfarer makes music as well. So I thought there is a Synth Valley Stream Fest today, tonight, depending on where you are in the world, after my show. So I'm going to go grab the link for that so you can check it out if you want. There are going to be a lot of really cool, interesting artists there. They tend to be smaller synthwave artists. It's kind of like you're getting to know musicians who aren't necessarily huge. It's a little more intimate. The party is better. It's a really cool community. It's good music. And Starfarer does a lot of work to put that together. So I thought I'm going to play something off Starfarer's newest album called Voyagers. I'm going to play you the title track because what the hell are we here in the crypto space and in the world? We're just voyagers, man. We're just finding our way. My name is Crimsonclad. This is CyberBuzz Radio. Crypto, decentralized aspects, a little bit of synthwave, a little bit of the retro future. We've talked about a lot of cool stuff today, kind of meandering. I've gotten some good news. You guys are all cool. So we're just doing whatever you guys want and some of the topics that I think are interesting today. It's a lot of fun. I hope that you will stick around. And we got about half an hour left in this show. A track called Voyagers. My name is Crimsonclad. All right, there you go. Track called Voyagers by Starfare. And one thing I could say about a lot of the synthwave music out there is the album covers are very much stuff you would see in what we think of as the crypto art and NFT space. Man, there's just some cool visuals out there. And yeah, for those of you, like Why Libertarian saying, who want to go watch 80s and 90s movies after my show, thank you. It's a fabulous compliment. There's something about that aesthetic that I'm madly in love with. And those of you who have hung out with me for this show and for CyberBuzz over the last couple years, it's a fascinating sort of take on the retro tech that made us, that was very interesting and engaging when we were young, that now seems out of date, and a distant future full of weird, crazy, unimaginable things, and smashing them together, and sort of that equal hopefulness and nostalgia and sort of dystopianism and all of the things that kind of come together and create this fucked up world of ours. So, hey, my name is Crimsonclad, and today we have covered a gamut of topics. I see lots of people are out there watching around, especially Vim TV. If you're not watching on Vim TV, check it out. But I see people on YouTube and Twitch and all over the place. So I'm glad to have you wherever you may be. Please join the chat wherever you are, or just listen, or whatever makes you happy. I never want to force you into engaging with me and my content anywhere that you don't want to. Listen, I'd like to say that all interactions with Crimsonclad are consensual. That's all I'm aiming for in my time here on this earth. But so one of the things that we come back to on this show a lot is sort of that, like I said, dystopian aspect of future tech. And one of the reasons that a lot of us are interested in blockchain is we're a little sort of nervous around ownership of data and details and our social connections. And we're a little kind of in love with what computers can do for us, and also terrified of some of the advances that they make and how that's going to impact our lives. And so we were just chatting before the break about cars and Lambos and potentially moving into crypto full time. And, you know, that is a great segue into the last thing that I want to show you guys today that I thought was really, really cool and interesting. Now, on this program, we've talked about AI before, and we've laughed at some of the chatbot and GAN, generative artificial networks, things like machine learning and iterative learning. We've talked a lot about sort of Skynet-ish ideas, and so this is kind of a perfect fit for the thing that I wanted to show you guys next, and that is, we often talk about robotics. We often talk about pairing an artificial intelligence with a piece of machinery. And we often frame that as humanity. We think about, can we make a machine act, look, be indistinguishable from a person? Well, fuck that. Not today. Today we're going to talk about a different use of artificial networks and machine learning. And so I thought, okay, hey, his dudeness. Hello, welcome to the back end of the show. You powered your ass in here for the ass end of CyberBuzz. I was going to say the ass end of Crimsonclad, but we don't put that on the stream. So, yeah. One of the shows, we actually talked a little bit about generative networks. Yeah, exactly. The GPT-3, which is, the chat writing sort of language. Yeah, the artificial extermination of the human soul. I like butts. That right there could sum up CyberBuzz and maybe even me in a nutshell. Somebody yelling, the artificial extermination of the human soul. But I like butts. Yes, absolutely. We're always worried about sort of, if machines can be better than us in every way, what do we have that they don't? And the soul, the emotion, the connections, that's something that we cling to as being very important. And I agree. However, we're not talking about people today. And one day on this show, we actually talked a little bit about the place of neural networks and adaptive networks in art and the creation of sound and visuals. And so in a lot of cases, we were talking about, can you have an AI that learns and creates very realistic images, which we know we can. There's this person does not exist, this dog does not exist, this cat does not exist. There are tools and networks to help generate imagery. And then one day we actually were exploring here on the show, and you guys were sharing your creations live and we were playing with it. A paint-like art program that, depending on the color you picked, it would interpret how those colors were put together on this sort of 8-bit pixel palette, and then would create them and render them as a realistic landscape. Some really cool stuff where we were, you draw a gray line and that would be a rock, and you draw a blue smudge and it would interpret that as water, and it would try and understand and produce how rocks and water work together and create an image. So we've explored some really cool stuff about AI and about robotics and neural network on the show before. But one of the things that I just recently kind of started finding really interesting is the intersection of vehicles and AI. Now, self-driving cars is scary. We know that. Everybody gets freaked out about AI and self-driving cars. But I'm not talking about Tesla. I'm not talking about commuter vehicles. I'm talking about something super cool called Robo Race. So I'm going to drop the link in chat, roborace.com. They've just finished up their alpha season, and this is cool. So what this is essentially is, it is a program that will give an autonomous self-driving vehicle to a team. And each team is competing to create the best AI software to drive this car around a racetrack. They're creating the best enhancements, the best programming, and then they are racing autonomous cars against each other. And this is cool. Everybody starts out with the same vehicle. Everybody gets the same car. DevBot 2.0 is the vehicle being used for season beta. So this is the new season that's going to be coming up. It's a bespoke racing platform developed specifically by RoboRace. The hardware is all managed centrally, and it's the same for each team, meaning that the only differentiator is the AI driver software the teams are developing for competition. It's all electric. It runs on the NVIDIA Drive platform, and it can be driven by a human or an AI driver. So what that means is, the whole point of this is to start, Robo Race Battle Edition. Let's turn this shit all the way to Mad Max. But this is really cool. And so there are people who have programmed, they've got little LED panels on the side of the car with faces. And so just recently I was watching, and one of the humans actually ended up racing one of the cars against the AI driver. And the human smoked the AI. Absolutely crushed it. The human was a better driver. But interestingly, every single time one of these vehicles goes around the track, every single time it collects a little bit more data. Hey, Swoop! Every time that happens, the car, the autonomous driver, gets a little bit better. And so this is fascinating, because all of a sudden you're not just talking about, we're gonna, Robo Race 2077 Cyberpunk edition. Yeah, well, if that was the case, if it was the Cyberpunk edition, your car would suddenly lift up off the track, shoot 26 miles in the air, spin faster than the human eye could see, come launching down and clip through, someone's house. That would be the Cyberpunk edition. It's buggy. I'm sure it's going to be a good game, and I look forward to playing it someday. But right now, not so much. All right, so this is such a cool topic, and it's such an interesting thing, because in this case, this is racing for nerds. This is university teams, private developers. Fox leveled up on a picture of a cool car. I've got about a shot and a bit of gin here, so let's cheers, my friend. Oh, yeah, it's good. It's good gin. So this is a really interesting topic for me, and I think this is so cool, and I want you guys to check out the website, because here are individual developers, hobbyist programmers, university teams, researchers, and the only differentiation in this case is how they approach driving, how they approach thinking about translating the human action of driving a car. Oh, Wes, don't do that. That's not a pro tip. Woof, woof. No boofing in my chat. Marvin Panvan, you dropped a GIF earlier and you managed to lock everybody's computer up. But hey, we're happy to have you. So, cat running on an apple aside, let's take a look at some of the stuff that's going on around robo racing. It's really, really cool, and I'm quite excited for it because what it means is people are people are starting to explore what is driving. How are you going to drink straight gin? Very easily. I really like gin. I read somewhere that only sociopaths like gin, and I don't believe that. But one of the things, do you also eat pine needles? Okay. All right. So now, listen, we're going to diverge from the robo race topic for a second. I very much like spirits, but I like... I used to think all gin tasted like trees. I did. And then I started going to an event called BC Distilled. You like big butts? Absolutely. I like big shots of gin. And I also have a big butt. So I started going to an event called BC Distilled. And I will link the site for that, bcdistilled.ca. And so it is a craft vodka and gin spirits festival, and it's been going on for like the last 6 years or so before things went completely sideways. But I started discovering that there are so many different types of gin and clear spirits and whiskeys and specialty spirits. And so this is noteworthy. This is a noteworthy gin, is the type of gin that it's called. But I learned there are a lot of different flavors than just pine needles. And actually, one of the gins that I have downstairs is from a distillery. It's called One Foot Crow Gunpowder Gin. The gin is pitch black like my soul. It tastes like black pepper. It's very earthy. It tastes nothing like what you would think gin is. And I've slowly over time discovered that I do. I fucking love gin. I just didn't know that there was more types than than just go out and take a bite of the nearest pine tree. So in any case, the reason I bring up BC Distilled is because I did mention earlier that I'm very excited to be welcoming a new rescue dog into... Yes, exactly. There's totally different botanicals in each type of gin. Not all have juniper. Not all taste like pine trees. Agreed. You got it, PZ. So with that being said, BC Distilled, I let you guys know that I'm welcoming a new rescue dog into my life. And I mentioned this on Thursday, but I'll bring it up one more time. One of the reasons this festival exists specifically is to raise funds for Pacific assistance dogs. And that is dogs that help people with either visual or audio or other physical disabilities. So companion dogs for them. PADS is a group that works with dogs. And so what this event is that you go to a room and they hand you a shot glass and you walk around and for 3 hours you drink unlimited alcohol from dozens of distilleries. Just high-end, unique, interesting spirits, gin and vodka and whiskey and all sorts of things. You get drunk, you eat great food, and you pet puppies. They have a corner where the PADS dogs in training come and hang out. And these drunk people are just like, oh yeah, doggies. And it's the most wonderful thing. And the dogs in training, when they're not in the petting corner, are actually in their work harness and they're moving through the crowd and learning how to interact out in public. It's the coolest event. And BC Distilled has raised like $21,000. Anyways, I'm going somewhere with this, and that is A, charity's cool. B, dog rescue is cool. C, dogs are awesome. D, gin is delicious. E, if I drink much more of this, I won't be able to keep track of the alphabet. And F, they are releasing some limited edition bottles of spirits online. So if you're interested and you want maybe some whiskey or some bourbon, yeah, why libertarian? Drunk people and puppies and charity and so much alcohol. And I've been going to every single distilled since it became a thing. It started off this tiny little thing, and it's grown into this awesome event. It's so fucking awesome. But of course, COVID has shut it down. So this year, they are releasing some limited edition spirits. And I actually picked up 2 bottles. $45 of every bottle goes directly to the PADS, Pacific Assistance Dog Society. So I've got some new bourbon that'll be coming on the way that I'm really, really excited about. So something gin. How can I drink straight gin? Find one that you like. That's it. That's the secret. It's not that I'm a piss tank, although I am a piss tank. I can drink a lot. And it's not that I'm a lush, but I am. I do. I enjoy a good cocktail. I enjoy the finer things in life. And that's just, you should like all the things that you eat and drink. They should be enjoyable. God damn it. All right. So listen, yeah, pretty much. So we've gotten a little off topic, but today has been super fun. And just before we kind of went down the gin road, I was talking a little bit about Robo Race, and it's really an interesting thing. I would love for you to take a peek about it, because it's suddenly taking something that is, it's not for everyone. I used to hate car racing, and I still kind of do. 24 Hours of Le Mans is really interesting. Targa and rally racing I find interesting just because it's thrilling. But, like Formula One or whatever, oh, God, how long can you just watch cars go in a circle forever? Blah. I'm sorry. Like NASCAR and F1, it's the worst thing on the planet. But I love the idea of starting to explore the human aspect of racing. And this is something we were talking about earlier. What makes a human a human? Where does AI diverge? Where is true artificial intelligence created? And where is sort of the mimicry of what we think of as intelligence happening? Because how do you know artificial intelligence is actually intelligence and not just incredible mimicry? It's a tough question to answer. And so in this case, here you've got people who are exploring what makes a human racer so damn good, and how do you express that in a way that a piece of machinery or AI can mimic that, or even start to learn to drive like that. So robo racing is a bunch of teams trying to out-nerd each other and really start understanding the dynamic of humans and the way that they ambulate around the world, the way they interact with machinery, and how to create something autonomous that has sort of the skill and the risk level and the excitement and the engagement of someone like a professional driver. And as of yet, they haven't hit it, but watching the cars race against each other is really, really cool. It's an interesting topic. So if this sounds something like you might be interested in, season beta is coming up. And so what's going to happen is they are expanding to the metaverse. Yes. And what that means is not only will these cars be racing in the real world, not only will they be working with like cool stuff like creating AI drivers that go faster and faster and race against each other, they are taking these races and they are creating an augmented reality framework for them. And these races will also be happening simultaneously in the Robo Race metaverse, which is going to be mixed reality. It's going to blend the physical world for teams that are racing and fans that are watching with a virtual world for the teams that are racing and the fans that are watching. There's going to be 12 races and 6 events. You won't be able to go to watch it like publicly at a racetrack, but everything is going to be done via live stream and you can follow along with this. It is really interesting. It's an extreme competition. It has all the nerdy, futuristic aspects. It's got all the heart-pounding, adrenaline, racing, physical aspects. It's something that is super, super futuristic and also one of our favorite things in the world, which is, machine go fast, maybe crash. It's really cool. I'm super stoked about it. So if that sounds interesting to you, you can go check it out at the website, which is, as I said, roborace.com. And you can check out some of the stuff. There's lots of different things that you could check out there. There's a lot of videos, which I could probably we could probably spend a whole show diving into this. But so they have drivers for the car, avatars that are responding. You know, you can watch as an avatar and react with the live streams. It's cool stuff going on in the metaverse, my friends. So hey, my name is Crimsonclad, and if you're just hopping in, or if you're just fucking leaving, then that is totally fine. This is CyberBuzz Radio. I'm here every Saturday at this time, whatever time it is for you, talking a little bit about the retro future, about disruptive technology, blockchain, cryptocurrency, and playing you some sweet, sweet synthwave music. So we've featured a bunch of artists today. We've talked about some synthwave live streams. We've talked about crypto, getting into it as a full-time job, whether you do it in the bear, in the bull. We talked a little bit about market cycles and sort of what the difference is between the last cycle and this cycle and where some of the trends have gone, how some of that's going to relate back to the Hive blockchain specifically, since a lot of us here that are involved in this show or watch this show or like this show, like the Hive blockchain. We talked a little bit about dogs and about booze, and, you know, it's been a time, friends, as Or Do It in the Butt comes up on my chat. Perfect. Thank you, Wes. You are, I miss you. I miss you and the wifey. Let's go drinking. So while we're at it and while we're coming up to the end of the show, I do have one more track to play. And just recently, I was chatting with another synthwave creator. He was saying he was looking for follows on his YouTube. He's a great artist. He's up and coming, new music all being released this year, and hopefully an album upcoming. His name is Jacket, and he recently put out a track called Borealis, and I thought, you know what? Taking a look at the time and taking a look at his music and just kind of appreciating small synthwave artists out there who are on the rise. Let's play this track for you, and then I will be back to say goodbye, talk a little bit more about my upcoming streams and schedule, and then a little bit about what's going on around MSP Waves. Please don't leave. It's the last track of the night, but it's not over. My name is Crimsonclad, and this is CyberBuzz. right. A track called Borealis, Jacket, and Shadowrunner, and hopefully some full albums coming from Jacket soon. And of course, if you like any of the music that I play on the show today, let me know, and I would be so glad to help hook you up with some of this music and some of these artists, because it's crazy. It's crazy how many people are doing really cool, fun, really interesting stuff in the space, and maybe aren't necessarily super known for what they're doing. Now, with all that being said, my name is Crimsonclad, and this is CyberBuzz Radio. We talk about disruptive tech and blockchain and the retro future. We have a whole lot of fun. However, we are coming to the end of today's stream. It's been a good one today. We've talked about a lot of stuff. We did some intelligent, like, about cryptocurrency and blockchain. And then we did some less intelligent stuff about booze and dogs. And I don't know, somebody was suggesting you boof things. Please don't do that. Please be safe and healthy in all of your endeavors. So in the upcoming weeks, if you are just getting to know me as a streamer or a radio host or whatever, I do 2 shows. This is CyberBuzz. I do it on Saturdays at this time, and I do Full Force Radio, which is a video live stream, metal music, extravaganza, and honestly bullshit chat. And I do that on Thursday nights or Friday mornings, depending on where you are in the world. However, some of you have discovered you came for all the dumb stuff. Perfect. I will endeavor to be dumber in the future. I feel like it can't possibly be that hard. Well, maybe it isn't. Maybe this is peak dumb, and I'm going to disappoint you in that too. Realistically, anything you come here for, just imagine that I'm going to disappoint you. There's an excellent chance I'm just going to completely fall short of your expectations. But that's part of the journey, right? I mean, it's always good to watch somebody fail live on air. It's always fun. But so here's the deal. Next week, I will not be here for CyberBuzz. I unfortunately have to drive out to the interior, so I will not be doing this show next week, but I will make it up because I will be doing at least one gaming live stream. But here's the deal. If you want to learn more about some of these streams and you're interested in a whole bunch of cool live streams that are like music or chat or different topics that still focus around decentralized or blockchain or sort of distribution and social connections, live streaming that you control, go to mspwaves.com. That's one of the networks that I distribute this show on. It's really cool. It's a social interactive broadcasting networks, and it's got a fun bunch of DJs, many of whom are in the chat right now. There's Coffee and Philosophy with Clay actually coming up later tonight. Making Stuff was just before me with Meadows and Makers. There's just so many cool topics. And if you go to mspwaves.com/schedule, you can find something that floats your boat. Maybe that won't be me and will be less disappointing. And that's the goal, really. All right. So with all that being said, we have come towards, Swoop is going to have an all pog all the time. Big fat asses for crypto. I have a big fat ass and I didn't get any pog. That's something. But with that being said, I will be back on Thursday night for Full Force Radio. That's the next time you will see me live. With all that being said, thanks for coming out today. Now, if you have a question about crypto, about blockchain, about Hive, if you want to learn a little bit more about how that stuff works, great. Shoot me a message. If you have a cool project that you want to talk about, we've had all sorts of app and program and project and game developers on this show that we've talked a little bit more about, and I'm going to be talking with more in the future. If you're an NFT artist or a space or sci-fi or retro future artist, if you're a cyberpunk or a cypherpunk, if you like games or you like music, this show's about that too. And then, of course, synthwave music. I try and make sure to feature a bunch of artists every week, play some music that's fun and cool and fits the theme. Hopefully, you find something you enjoy and you get a little bit more music into your life too. That's the goal each week. You can get me endless pog. Can you talk about your metaverse gig? Sure, why not? You will have to send me a DM because, of course, my shows fill up. And I think I am booking for like slots in June now. Otherwise, I'm hoping to do a sort of live question and answer period with some of the core devs of the Hive blockchain. So if you've got questions about hard forks or some of the things that are happening, either tokenomics or social aspects of the Hive blockchain, and you want to kind of get in on that, that's going to be coming up. And if you're interested in exploring some of this decentralized tech, getting into crypto, getting into blockchain, connect with me wherever. Find me, shoot me a message. I'll be happy to help you. I'll be happy to answer your questions. If I don't know the answer, it's an opportunity for me to learn. And I'd be happy to see you kind of take a step into this world where you have a little bit more agency over your own information, over your own financials, over your own data, and over your social connections in a globalized world that is honestly kind of fucking with them and kind of fucking with you. It's a great time to explore some of this technology and how it can maybe change some of the aspects of your life that you're not happy with. And I say that just knowing that social media right now especially is a difficult and complex shape. Hey there, Candy! A complex space that honestly is changing the way that we interact as humans, and not always for the better. So moving away from some of the biggest social media aspects and kind of exploring decentralized and peer-to-peer connections and sort of everything that blockchain and other Web 3.0 solutions make possible. It's cool and it's exciting. So we're on the back half of the show. If you need to learn more, shoot me a message. Otherwise, I hope you had a lot of fun today. This replay will be available on YouTube. I'm hoping to change it into a podcast style format so you can find it on Oriel and other podcast distribution apps. That's what happens when you drink a lot of gin on air. And also on Twitch and on Vim TV. But Murphy, this slow hide rise from Murphy and I, have an awesome day. I hope whatever sort of retro future dreams you have come true, and I'm looking forward to seeing you next time. I'm Crimsonclad, and I'm done.